two portraits of European middle-class mass housing, seen through the eyes of their residents. As the experts of their living environment, they explain to us what is valuable, problematic, or desirable. Residential neighborhoods are usually regarded as ordinary, but they hold resources of several kinds: functional living spaces, social structures, natural and architectural beauty. And they also embody a lot of gray energy and living histories in collective and personal memories. That is why we explore everyday neighborhoods, using residents' testimonies as a tool for analysis. New Belgrade is the biggest municipality of the Serbian capital Belgrade. Basically, it is a city within the city. It was planned in the 1950s, just after World War II, but largely constructed in 1960s and 1970s as a residential neighborhood composed of modernist megablocks in a high-rise urban pattern. Almere Haven is part of the Dutch new town, Almere. It is the oldest core in the polycentric urban layout. Built in the 1970s on new land, reclaimed from the sea. It has a suburban low-rise pattern and was inspired by traditional Dutch harbor towns and the organic human-scale concept of the woonerf. How do residents assess the values of their living environment? Let's listen.
Kids are all the time outside, and then you meet people. You're simply directed towards the center of the block, onto their warm park, their shop, school, and that's where you meet your neighbors all the time. New Belgrade, which could be perceived as grey and distant with large blocks, connects people. Some neighbors don't want social contact. They go up the elevator as quick as possible. Neighbors you can trust is important. I do have contact with neighbors, not because it's fun, but for practical reasons. 6 or 7 neighbors would alarm if my curtains don't open in the morning. The community centers had the importance, but they're systematically destroyed by taking the rights and budgets step by step. That is a big issue. Well, you have everything you need here in the block. Kindergarten, schools, shops, bakeries, pharmacies, health facilities, dentists. We are worried about the vacancy of stores. Many convenience stores and specialty stores are disappearing. The restaurant and terraces on the boulevard at the harbor are nice. You meet people and the view is beautiful. The residents are mainly the owner as well. A few are renting the flats. But then emerged a big issue of not knowing what's yours and what's collective. My own garden is my favorite place. I made everything in the garden myself. I'm so proud of it. I work in the garden for an hour every day. I have regular contact with neighbors, especially people like me. Together we're taking care that the street looks neat, we borrow each other's broom. People simply could not understand that the building is a common space and that it should be collectively managed and maintained. They understand that they should maintain their flat, but not the building. That is the reason for today's physical condition of the buildings. In Almere Haven, we have some really bad streets. For mobility scooter, it's terrible. Bumpy. Maintenance of street is not good here anyway. The wide green areas of Almere Haven give me the feeling of living in a holiday park. No one has time or initiative to do something in the collective space. Only the kids' playgrounds are important for us. We have 2 courtyards, one with a merry-go-round and one with a garden. I like the courtyards because they are next to my house and it's where I meet my friends. It's nice to have a lot of freedom to imagine games and play. There are no beautiful neighborhoods in Almere. In old cities like Alkmaar or Amsterdam, of course, they're beautiful. But not Almere. Everything is ordinary here. To be honest, I find the contrast grey concrete and greenery very appealing. Beautiful places, all psychopaths, the abundant greenery, gourmet, peace and quietness. It was great for me to grow up here, as the level of freedom in NewBelgrade was very high. My father grew up here. I know that my house and my neighborhoods are very old. I grew up here, and it's not possible not to love the block, and I know everyone here.
What can we learn from the testimonies collected? Residents from both neighborhoods value social cohesion with their neighbors very high. Children are often a natural connection. Community centers and good accessible courtyards are very important places to facilitate collectivity. The close proximity of shops and other facilities is important in the daily lives of residents. In the low-rise neighborhood of Almere Haven, retail is declining, whereas higher density of NewBelgrade makes that facilities can keep up. Residents mention the lack of responsibility for the environment as a problem, the feeling of ownership of collective property. Both neighborhoods still have first or early inhabitants who observe a decline in taking care and collective spirit. Green areas and playgrounds are the absolute winners in public space. In future developments, these are key values in spatial terms, enabling social contact and feelings of freedom. The brutalist architecture of NewBelgrade starts to be appreciated, whereas the ordinary atmosphere in Almere is not generally recognized as aesthetically. Although both neighborhoods are relatively young, childhood memories as living histories play an important role in the legacy of the neighborhoods, which should not be neglected. The method of exploratory talks with residents can be applied as a tool for co-diagnosis in MCMH neighborhoods. As illustrated in this video, we believe that the method is valuable for a diversity of MCMH in different European regions and projects, identifying the broad scope that is needed to assess MCMH.